Hi there, how you doing? I hope it's alright, and as you may have read from the title of this video, the time has finally come. The new version of Twinmotion 2024 has officially been released. The first thing to say though is that this is a preview version, so I would advise using it in a professional way, as is it not completely stable. I myself using it after an hour of use crashed Twinmotion for no reason, not allowing me to save, of course. Going back to Twinmotion, to install it for free, I suggest you to catch up with the video where I explain how to install the version 2023.2.4 of Twinmotion, where obviously you will have to select the Twinmotion 2024.1 preview from the drop-down menu. I leave the link in the description. In this video, I'm going to quickly show you what new features Epic Games has introduced in this new version, and in the coming days I'll get down more specific about each new tool with new in-depth videos. That said, let's get started. Luckily, at the basic interface level, nothing has changed, but the thing that will make a lot of users happy is the ability to resize the interface scale, from Edit menu, Preferences, Appearance. With this version, you can change the interface scale by 5% at a time, allowing you to resize the entire Twinmotion interface in a semi-free way. In fact, until the previous version, the values were definitely impractical, especially for those who, like me, use a laptop with a small screen. But let's talk about new features. And the first two in particular will revolutionize the way you insert vegetation and objects in series. I'm talking about the new spacing and area tools. In the Place menu, the old Foliage menu, going by Populate icon. The former allows you to create a path along which 3D models you select from the library will be inserted, regardless of type. In fact, you can insert any object, vegetation, bollards, streetlights, vehicles, and so on. Like all Twinmotion tools, this one is also very easy to use, and with just a few clicks you can increase the lateral offset on which the 3D models will be placed. You can decide how many objects there are along the path, or at the distance between them. But my absolute favorite thing is the ability to randomize the elements, both with random orders, but especially to scale, rotate or move them, always randomly. In this way, you will never again have to manually edit every single object copied in series, to avoid the classical effect of repeated object with a stencil. The second tool, the area, is just as fantastic. With very similar modes to those just seen, it allows you to insert 3D models of the library within a drawn area. And from there you can intervene in the elements considered as a group. As with the spacing command, here too you can randomize the final result, so you can seek the best harmony between the parts. The next tool was strongly desired by the Twinmotion community via the Twinmotion public roadmap site. From there, any user can request which new command to insert into the software, and depending on how many requests of the same time there are, Epic Games will insert the new requested command into Twinmotion. In this case, there were so many requests on render layers that Epic Games could wait no longer. This new feature allows both individual elements and group elements to be assigned a layer ID, up to a maximum of 5 IDs, which can be rendered separately in black and white tones to allow for faster post-production. The same command can also be used in video export, exporting many individual frames to be edited in post-production, on programs such as After Effects, for instance. Finally, even with Twinmotion, it is possible to make photo matching in an agile and fast way, without having to manually contour individual elements in Photoshop. I introduce now a great improvement for all those who don't have the possibility to use the path tracer, especially Mac users. This is the Ambient occlusion texture. With standard and Lumen engines, there is sometimes a lack of occlusion, and to increase visual consistency, a new texture has been added to the standard materials that will allow to render them with a high realistic rendering. This is valid for all the new materials you will create, and as you can see, the difference is remarkable. Some minor changes in the organization of the interface have been made, mainly in the environment section. The weather menu has undergone minor changes. As you can see, a fog has been added to the mainly parameters, and the precipitation and weather condition panel have been grouped separately in the details sections. What used to be global lighting has become natural lighting, and as you can see, there is no longer the white balance common. Exposure parameters are also gone, but actually, both these and white balance have simply been moved from the environment section to the camera section, where we now find them grouped together, as they are always used together. In the camera menu, the organization has been changed, and new tools have been inserted. For example, the depth of field now has its own menu. The new lens menu contains the information that we used to find in the camera effect menu, but, more important, the lens-related information has been moved to the new bloom and flares menu, where all the tools have been greatly improved and optimized. In particular, now the lens flare and the lens dirt effects are much more effective than in previous versions. And in addition, it is possible both to visibly increase the bloom intensity and to use different textures as needed. Another big news concerns the optimization of the fabric materials. In fact, depending on the type of fabric you will have to use, they have been divided between standard and thin parameters. Parameters have been introduced to intervene on core fall-off and core intensity, and also on edge fall-off and edge intensity. But perhaps most importantly, with the fabric thin materials, you can now create the classic transparent curtain material, without having to insert external textures such as opacity mask, as the fabric thin materials in the Twinmotion library already have them included. For the vegetation enthusiast as well as the perfectionist, the new material Foliage, which makes imported vegetation geometry reactive to the Twinmotion seasons, has been introduced. And after trying it out, I can say that it is a fantastic material, for sure. Import the 3D model of any vegetation element, I can assign to the leaf mesh the foliage material. And, inserting all the texture of which it is composed, I can optimize the backface fade, the translucency, the ambient occlusion, and, this is really amazing, the effect of the season of the plant, as if the imported 3D object was part of the native Twinmotion library. Here I show you the huge difference between the 3 imported in the 2023 version and the same 3 in the version 2024, obviously with the new foliage material applied. Delving into the media mode, all newly created images, videos and panoramas have a new media preview, which, when clicked, generates a camera object called Cine Camera Actor, which immediately gives us the viewport of the created media. This new object can be selected and moved manually, and as a result the view will also update. These tools do not change the way the media is created and used. More likely it was inserted to allow everyone to understand the actual camera position in each media. Only in the media mode, in the camera panel, you can use the Filmback option for precise camera matching of real-world camera profile in Twinmotion. Selecting a Filmback preset applies real-world camera sensor or film frame directions, which affect the focal length, depth of field intensity, and the image aspect ratio. This new version of Twinmotion also gives us the ability to communicate with Unreal Engine 5.4 without the use of any plugins. In fact, we will be able to export the Twinmotion datasmith file directly within an Unreal Engine 5.4 project. Once done, open Unreal Engine, click on Create, Datasmith, File Import, and select the previously exported datasmith file. Here is the imported Twinmotion project in Unreal Engine, and from here we can do nothing but fly with the imagination. There are 2 more new features in this new version of Twinmotion. The first is about parenting animators, or the ability to combine animators, rotators and translators, to create more sophisticated animation. To combine animators, drag a translator onto a rotator, or vice versa, in the scene graph. The last new feature is the new option in media, the sequence, which allows you to make a new type of video based on 3D models previously animated in other programs like Blender or Maya, and then imported into Twinmotion. Personally, I'm not an experienced animator, so I suggest you to visit the official Twinmotion website to explore the modalities. I'll leave you the link in the description. That's all, and as I said at the beginning of this video, in the next days I will create a more specific video for any tool, thoroughly analyzing every aspect of it. So stay tuned to don't miss the next content. That said, I wish you a good day or evening and see you in the next video. Ciao!